Hi everybody. In this brief screencast, I'd like to explain the learning demonstration for EDTC610. What we're doing is combining Project 2 and the final essay to be what we're calling your learning demonstration, a demonstration of what you've learned in the course. Let me review the two items that will be the learning demonstration for the course. First, Project 2. As you know, you will develop a web-based online interdisciplinary unit that includes objectives, activities, online tools, a culminating project, and an assessment rubric. And then there's the analytic essay for this course. What you have to do is write an essay for the final for this course, and that essay should be a comprehensive handout that explains how to develop web-based activities, and that refers to your unit as an example. You'll submit that essay to TK20, by the way. The learning demonstration, the whole interdisciplinary unit, and the analytic essay the explanation is included under syllabus, other information, final essay, learning demonstration in the course. The scenario for the learning demonstration and analytic essay is this. You have been asked by your principal to coach other teachers in the development of an interdisciplinary unit, much as the one that you've just developed. And to support that coaching, the principal wants you to write an essay that explains just how you did it, what's involved, what has to be done in order to complete an interdisciplinary unit successfully. And so you'll have to actually analyze the sample unit that you create. Okay, so how did this whole course prepare you to do all this, to demonstrate the learning? Well, if you want to think back, we started with discussions about blended and flipped learning, and we talked about collaboration. We also did a collection of Web 2.0 tools on Digo and on Padlet. And those tools are tools that you now have in your own toolkit. And we focused on objectives and standards and how they have to match. And we also talked about universal design principles. Well, all of that we've done so far in this course feeds right into Project 2. But there are new expectations in Project 2. As you know, you're working in study groups, and together you have to come up with an interdisciplinary unit. So you have that collaboration piece that's different than the simpler collaboration of just peer review in the first project. And then there's the backwards design component. I'm asking you to actually submit a proposal that includes your objectives, your assessment, activities that are aligned with the objectives and the assessment. That'll be submitted to the assignments folder. And then there's the culminating project for your lesson, some kind of activity that demonstrates student learning. And this time you're actually going to have to develop a sample of that project yourself. And finally, you have to develop a full-fledged rubric this time. Here are some examples of culminating task projects and tools that might be used with that project. You might have students create a poster and use tools like Glogster or some more. Or you might want students to represent the life of a Revolutionary War soldier. There's a tool called Museum Box. There's also the possibility you could use Kid Blogs, a blogging tool that's specifically for K-12 students. Or you could have students create an audio-visual book review. They might use VoiceThread or Animoto in that case. And my final example is that you might have students explain how to solve a math problem. If so, you might use a tool like Infogram or GeoGebra. I'll provide you with a handout with links to all of these tools. This time, you're actually going to have to create a sample of the kind of project your students are expected to create themselves. For example, if you want students to use a tool called Printing Press, then you yourself have to create an example using Printing Press. Here's a sample a teacher did last year. She just set up a template showing what they might include in what spot on the Printing Press example itself. Finally, remember to take a look at the Project 2 rubric under the syllabus area in the course content. The main criteria are that the unit has to be coherent and has to have a good navigational structure, and you'll have a group assessment for that. Next, collaboration with group members. There'll be an individual assessment to see if you've kept up with study group expectations. I'll also be looking closely at clear navigational design. Each individual page should be appropriate for the lesson, and students should be able to easily go from one step to the next. And then content standards and objectives, as before, they have to match. And effectiveness of structured activities. The activities that you design have to be completed effectively. You have to have activities that are fully developed and that include links that go directly to the tool you want students to use, for example. And you have to include an assessment of student learning, the rubric I talked about. You also have to, in the lesson, use technology. And finally, you need to have student-friendly directions. So that about wraps it up, but I'm sure you'll have lots of questions. I have a course content question area where you can ask as many questions as you want. I hope you enjoy working on Project 2, and I hope that writing the final essay will be a chance for you to reflect and be proud of all that you've learned.